Sentire Media.
Welcome to the Stop Italian Sounding podcast, uncovering authentic Italian food. I'm your host, Robert Campana, and join me as we delve into the rich heritage of genuine Italian food, exploring its legends, history, and traditions. Through important tips and insightful interviews with industry professionals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of authentic Italian food. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stop Italian Sounding show, uncovering authentic Italian food. So, if you like Italian food, which I assume you do since you're listening to this show today, when you find a restaurant or a place outside of Italy that's a great representation of Italy, you tend to rave about it and go back, of course. And if you're anything like me, when you walk inside that place, you immediately get the Italian vibe. It's like going to Italy for a short period of time, you know? Well, this is a feeling that I get when I go to L'Arte della Pasticceria, a pastry shop located in Ramsey, New Jersey. Now, it isn't any pastry shop. It's an immediate trip to Italy the second you walk in, from the smell to the amazing choices of pastries to the chef himself. Andrea Guastella is a pastry chef at L'Arte della Pasticceria in Ramsey, New Jersey. His culinary journey began in his home in Ragusa, Sicily, where, as a child, he discovered his passion for the art of food preparation. Growing up in the rich culinary culture of Ragusa, he learned about hospitality, savory dishes, and desserts. And during his teenage years, he developed a keen interest in various desserts, both baked and frozen, particularly drawn to traditional Sicilian and Italian recipes and the associated cultural heritage. Despite initially pursuing political science at the University of Catania, he redirected his focus entirely towards Sicilian and Italian dessert arts. Through self-study and practical experience, he mastered baking and pastry arts, securing full-time positions at esteemed local establishments such as Gelateria Montalbano, Pasticceria Crescente, and Villa Fortunio, where he refined his skills over nearly a decade. His journey led him to learn traditional methods from respected pastry chefs in Sicily and mainland Italy, notably in Bologna, covering a range of frozen desserts, pastries, and cakes. And in 2018, he embarked on a new chapter in the United States, ultimately becoming a co-owner of L'Arte della Pasticceria in 2020. Most recently, L'Arte della Pasticceria received an award from Eccellenze Italiane and has been recognized as representing authentic Italian excellence. So, Andrea, thank you so much for being an excellent representation of Italy abroad, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Robert. Hi, everyone.
I'm so happy to have you. And may I say, the last time I was there in your pastry shop, it was a great experience. You treated me very well. The stuff you make is, like I said before, is literally like being in Italy. So you do such a good job with everything you make. So just so we could start and give a little background information to our listeners, could you share your culinary journey and what initially sparked your interest in pastry arts?
Well, I'm not old. I'm 36, but I'm not that young anymore. So my culinary journey actually started a very long time ago. Probably I was like 13 or 14 when I started working the first time in restaurants. I started working in restaurants actually, not really in pastry shops. When I was 13, I was helping out with like salad in the salad stations, like sandwich stations. I've always been passionate about food in general, but soon enough I realized that was not my main passion. Like I enjoyed working in the restaurant industry, but I started making gelato in that place, Gelateria Montalbano, when I was barely 15 years old, and that's when I understood and I realized that the pastry world and gelato world, of course, was my main interest.
Okay, so your main passion stems from working in the gelateria, correct?
Yeah, correct. So when I started working in the gelateria, I started making my first gelato. I was so excited about it, and then since then it just never stopped. Like since gelato, then I started moving into pastries and cakes.
Okay. And is there something in particular when it comes to gelato making that I guess walk us through how do you make gelato specifically? Because it's something that many Americans love and talk about. So what exactly are the steps to making it?
Well, so the way I learned the gelato, of course, I learned the hard way, I would say, because of course I studied when I went in Bologna, but that was many years after that. I was already 19 years old when I went in Bologna. When I started the first time, I learned the hard way from a very old man who barely know what a scale was. So much different than what it is today. Of course, there's like much more science and technology behind it. With very very old equipment, gelato machines that are so old and so dangerous. But I was so, because today, just so everybody knows, there's like many safety features in all the equipment in every restaurant industry, of course. But at that time, safety was not the main concern of everybody. So, like, yeah, gelato machines, believe it or not, were really, really dangerous. Uh,
Really?
yeah, because the first machine, I don't even know how to describe one of the first model was the Carpigiani, and it was like this massive cylinder submerging glycola, which is a solution of water and saline solution that basically doesn't let the water freeze. And there's this stainless steel bean that spins inside of this liquid, and there's a knife that goes up and down this bean, and then when the gelato comes up, you're supposed to scoop it out of it. But of course, the whole operation, there were no safety features in this machine at all. But so you had to, yeah. I've heard about many people like getting, their arm stuck in this machine. It was
Wow.
pretty terrible. Thank God
Wow.
that never happened to me.
Thank God. Thank God. Wow. That's something I did not know, that there was actually a risk to making gelato.
Yes.
And of course, with modern, things that evolve and things change over the years. So now, obviously, what you have in L'Arte della Pasticceria, it's a machine.
Oh,
I'm
thank
sure
God.
it's quite different.
We have so much more technology now. The concept is still the same. See, the fascinating thing about the world I work in is that the concept, the theory, the main concept behind it is still the same. But there's just that the new machine has so much more technology now in it that the product comes out much better. It's much safer to be made from the gelato chef.
Absolutely. And what you serve at L'Arte is in my opinion very authentic, and again I appreciate that, because it's great to go to places where you could actually feel like you're in Italy. So just for our listeners, what specifically is the difference between gelato and ice cream? I know that's a main question that people have. How are they different
Yeah.
between Italian gelato and American ice cream?
So, well, that's something that I struggle with every day because of course, I need to train my employees on this, main difference, and I need to educate my customers on this main difference because many people just walk in with their kids and they just want to get ice cream because they see frozen dessert on display and they think it's ice cream. It's our job to educate everybody that it's not the same. There's substantial difference that start with the ingredients. The main ingredient of an ice cream is basically cream, like heavy cream. So the ice cream it's much the fat content in an ice cream it's much higher than a gelato. And also of course the texture. If you had ice cream and you had gelato before, right? You can feel the texture. The gelato it's much denser. Ice cream is churned at a very very high speed and compared to gelato, and incorporates much more, like a higher percentage of hair during the churning process. So when you buy ice cream, it sounds weird to say, but you're buying 70% of hair.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Meanwhile,
an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, meanwhile, when you buy gelato, it's much denser for that reason. Of course, it incorporates hair during the churning process as well, but it's much less than ice cream.
Of of course. So with gelato, you get more for your money.
Correct. And also the main ingredients in a gelato, it's always milk. There's cream in gelato as well, but the main ingredient it's milk, and it's less fat. It's considered in Italy and many other countries, of course, a superfood. There's many nutrients in it, and it's
Okay.
very healthy with moderation, of
Good.
course.
With moderation, yes, absolutely. Good. So I know you pride yourself on making authentic Italian gelato, authentic Italian pastries, and you do a great job again at that. And could you just talk to us a little bit about L'Arte and how what is your journey with L'Arte? What specifically do you do there, and how do you, let's just say, bring Italy to New Jersey?
Well, my whole journey at L'Arte again started in 2018. Um, when I came over the first time, my partners, my current partners, they actually hired me as a pastry chef, and I thought it might just be like a temporary experience. When I came over in this country, I realized the Italian food is this people are like really a different idea of what real Italian food is, and especially when it comes to pastries and dessert in general, there's not a lot of opportunities around here, like to get the real deal. So my whole concept when I came over in this country was to just make sure that I could bring a piece of Italy and mostly Sicily, where I come from, and just almost train, like educate people on the real deal, like what the real food is.
Absolutely, and that's part of the whole thing. That's one reason why I was so attracted to your pastry shop. So what has been the public's reception to this? Your customers, for example, I'm sure they appreciate it. The fact that you bring authenticity to the table.
They do now, to be honest with you. Like the first years when I came over, it's been a little difficult because it takes a little bit of time for people to get used to something. I'll give you a stupid example. Like uh, when I started making pastries, you saw the shop now, so now it looks
Yeah,
much different than when I came over the first time. When I came over the first time, we had a small pastry case, and there wasn't a lot of stuff in it, and we were making pastries every day, and we would throw away almost 80% of them.
really,
Yeah, because pastries needs to be made fresh every day,
right.
and we will make them, but people were not like so used to buy pastries like my that kind of pastries. So it took a while for me to educate them, educate my staff, of course. But yeah, now after I spent some time in training and marketing the business the way it's supposed to be done, people definitely now I understand. They understand what real pastries are and good cakes and good Italian products are, and now they just come all over the states. They come from, I have customers that come from Staten Island, from Long Island, from Brooklyn. Like they travel a lot to come and get pastries and gelato from me because they understood that it's what the real deal is.
And I think that's what they're looking for. A lot of people, especially of a certain, let's just say, generation. You think of like millennials or younger than millennials. They're always thinking about like authenticity, experience. I would consider not only your stuff to be quote unquote authentic, but also to have an experience as well when you go. Because like I said before, it's like taking a quick trip to Italy. It really is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I know you said that in the past you've done some events there. Maybe did you have like schools there where you would educate on how to make specific things, or you had organizations sometimes would show up?
Yeah, we've done something sometimes with local schools, especially schools that run like Italian programs, Italian classes. They brought like some of the kids to the bakery just to do a quick tour. One time we did something with the school where I showed them how to make gelato and again explained the difference between gelato and ice cream. We do a lot some local events with like Girl Scouts where we trying to teach these small things to let the kids grow up with a good idea of what what good Italian pastries are. And of course, I teach my cooking classes. The cooking classes are my main occasion. Like cooking classes are definitely main focus on cooking, not really on baking and gelato. But that's my opportunity to show people what the food of my country, specifically the food of Sicily, is.
Great, great. The cooking classes. Maybe I could join one time. That would be
You,
interesting to
you
join.
definitely
Let me know.
should.
I would love to. So, what are some of the things, going back to the pastry
Yeah.
side? What are some of the pastries that you do have there? Could you just name a few of, let's just say, the favorite ones that you like to make, or maybe the ones that the customers really enjoy?
Well, that's a tough question because,
All
well,
of them,
I
I
mean,
guess, right?
of course, who doesn't know cannoli, for example, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, cannoli are definitely the thing that probably will sell the most. But even there, like, everybody has cannoli in this country. You go to a grocery store, you find cannoli.
Right. But they're not like yours, though. The cannoli are different, the ones at the grocery stores. How do you make yours?
It's the thing is, it's always about the ingredients. I'm so focused on the ingredients. For example, we import the ricotta that goes in it. People here always say it's cannoli cream, cannoli cream. They refer about cannoli cream for anything. Just so you know, everybody who's listening, cannoli cream is something that does not exist in Italy at all. Don't go in Italy and ask for cannoli cream because they won't know what you're talking about. Cannoli cream is ricotta and it's mixed with sugar and other things. It's chocolate chips. We put a little bit of cinnamon. But we import the main ingredient. The ricotta comes from Sicily, and it's a sheep's milk ricotta. It's the best to make cannoli, and we do many other things with that. And that's the secret. It's in the ingredient. Or we have other filling. We do the vanilla pastry cream ones, where vanilla pastry cream is kind of a custard, but it's more on the Italian style. There's no butter in it. It's lighter. It's delicious. And yeah, that's something else that people like my customers didn't even know anything. Nobody knew what pastry cream was. And
So going back to the cannoli that you make with the Sicilian sheep ricotta, I mean, once you've had that, you will never go to the cannoli cream side of things. Believe me, because that is so it's just such a different flavor. I mean, when you're used to the ones made here, and of course, no disrespect, compared to the real deal, they're just two different worlds. So you mentioned ingredients. Which of course it all goes down to the ingredients and the way ingredients match with each other, which I'm sure you know better than me. So what are some of your favorite ingredients to work with and why? And of course, I know you like you mentioned before, you import a lot of your raw material from Italy. So what are the ones that you like to work with specifically?
well, I mean, we just talked about it. The ricotta is definitely one of my favorites because again, there's no such thing as that specific product, and we use it for a lot of different things. I make gelato with it. I make, of course, cannoli. We make the sprisolona with the ricotta, which is one of the best seller cakes that we have. That product, the ricotta, it's so versatile. You can do literally a million different things. I'm working on a new cookie right now that's made with Sicilian sheep's milk ricotta, um, just to give you an example. That's definitely one of the most like one of the ingredients that I enjoy the most work with. But yes, the ricotta for sure. But I mean, honestly, like every ingredient, like all my gelato ingredients, for example, are imported from Italy. So, for example, hazelnut paste from Piemonte, the DOP hazelnut paste, or the pistachio paste from Bronte.
Okay, the pistachio from Bronte, you said.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure you do a lot of different things with that, including the cornetti filled with the pistachio cream, correct?
Well, mostly with that we make cakes like the pistachio mousse cake is it became one of our best sellers for sure. Of course,
Okay.
we do gelato with it. But yeah, we do cornetti filled with cream. We've done cannoli on custard base filled with pistachio cream. And the Bronte base, I'm sure you know that, but the Bronte pistachio, the real one, it's called the green gold in Italy.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
so
Oro
authentic.
verde.
It's oro verde, exactly. It's such an amazing thing. It's so authentic, and I'm really truly happy that we get an opportunity to talk about it because sometimes when you charge a price for a product, and people need to understand why the price is so high for that product. And the Bronte pistachio paste is one of the main example of this. It's amazing. It tastes so much different than, but again, it's a product that is made in such a small town with such a tiny
Yes.
capacity. And
Yes, so it's fairly priced then. I wouldn't consider it overly priced. I would consider it fairly priced. You're buying what you buy what you get and
correct,
you pay for what you get, and you're paying for green gold, you're paying for quality, you're paying for something that's a specialty item. So yeah, I would consider it properly priced. Believe it or not, the first time I had Bronte pistachio cream was when I visited your shop. So that was the first time I had it real, not in Bronte, but by you. So thanks for bringing that here. I appreciate it. And anybody who's listening, if you're in that area or not, if you want to go make a journey to Ramsey, New Jersey, it's well worth it. Believe me, I drove over 2 hours and was worth every second.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it was great. So I'm assuming you know a lot about the Bronte pistachio. Have you been there? What's your experience with that?
I honestly, and that I'm something that I definitely regret as a Sicilian, because of course, if you're Italian or you never travel in Italy. Like when I got a chance to travel, I always went abroad, and it's unfortunate. I hate to say it, but it's a very stupid thing. We have so many.
It's not stupid because I mean, it's the same thing. Me, I'm an Italian American, so I was born here, and it's the same thing. I've seen more of Italy than of the United States.
And there's so many beautiful things to see here in the United States. But again, if you were born in here, it just you. It's not. I think it's kind of normal. But no. So to answer the question, I haven't been in Bronte specifically, but I know like a lot of things about the production of the pistachio specifically, and I wish when I will go back next time in Sicily, I definitely want to go there. So is it like the company where I get the pistachio based Bronte from? Like I wanna go visit them for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's on my list as well. Now, I know you, like we said before, and you've mentioned a few times, you're Sicilian. You were born in Sicily and raised there. Do you make mainly Sicilian pastries in your shop, or do you kind of make things all throughout Italy? I know you mentioned the cannoli that you make, and you mentioned sprissolona as well, which is not typically a Sicilian
Absolutely.
cake. What are other things that you make, or do you try to focus just on one or two regions?
No, again, my whole goal when I came in this country was to give people an opportunity to enjoy Italy in general, specifically Sicily, of course, because that's where I come from. But no, we do a lot of Sicilian dishes specifically, but we do a range of like dishes from Naples, for example, the baba, whatever people call it, rum baba. The first time they told me, I was like, "What, rum baba?"
Rumba.
It's called
You
baba.
get used to the baba. Bravo.
Yes,
Yes, you get used to the pronunciation.
yeah, and then you get used to it. But anyway, or we're doing right now. We're doing the maritozzo, which is a special brush from Rome, um, and it's going wild. Since we started making that, we can't stop producing maritozzi every weekend. But that's a specific dessert from Rome. You mentioned Risolona. It's typically from the north of Italy. We do caprese cakes, the lemon caprese or the chocolate caprese. Those are specifically from Naples, the Naples area. Um, it's we do a range of different products. For example, we also do mousse cakes, which is not an authentic Italian product, but it's of course we use Italian flavor in it, and it is what people eat in Italy. Like I want to be conservative, meaning like I like the tradition, but we also need to keep going, innovate a little bit. So keep
Absolutely.
up with whatever is going on in the world,
Oh yes.
maintaining the tradition, of course.
Absolutely. Maintain a tradition while being innovative at the same time. And that's definitely, I would say, a skill that at times it seems like it's innate in Italians, in Italian artisans, which you are. So that's interesting to see how people are innovative and traditional at the same time. Going back to Sicily and Sicilian pastries or desserts, I know now that it's getting warmer outside. You're probably going to start making the granita,
I
correct?
actually started last week, and I'm so excited about
Ah, you
it.
started last week. Okay.
I had my first breakfast with the brush kotup granita last week, and it was amazing. And yep,
You read my mind. I was going to ask you about that because that's something that is known amongst your customers. Or are you still trying to educate them a little bit about that typical Sicilian delicacy, if you will?
I really thank you for asking this question, because there's a lot of misconceptions in this product too. And this is something else that when I started making the first time, it was really not going anywhere. I was making my brush, the Sicilian brush, and then the granita would make it. Nobody knew what it was. because everybody is looking for Italian ice. Now, listeners, if you go in Italy, don't ask for Italian ice.
No.
It's not something that exists over there. It's something that was made from Italian American. It's inspired by the granita, of course. But like if you see anything on a slushy machine and they call it granita, please don't buy the stuff that's not authentic granita. Granita cannot be made in a slushy machine. It's not made with crushed ice. Yeah, so like there's a lot of misconceptions on this product. Um, but yeah, I do it the original way, and now everybody, again, got used to it, and now everybody was asking all year long, when you're making granita again, when you make granita.
Good. So it's like you planted a seed a few years back, and now the plant's starting to grow finally, and people are understanding, and they're coming back for more. The real deal. Now, brioche and granita typically a breakfast thing in Sicily, correct?
Correct, and that took a while too because people were so confused. Like, why would you eat this cream for breakfast? Because here, in the United States, breakfast is it's more on the savory side, right? Like people eat eggs, bacon, like mainly, right? In Italy, we do eat fishes for breakfast. We do eat cornetti, and summertime, yes, everybody eats granita with brioche in Sicily, and or with gelato, but mostly it's granita and brioche.
Yes, exactly. Last time I was in Sicily was in November, so I didn't really see too many places with granita, um, which is unfortunate. I guess either I'll have to go back to Sicily or take a drive up to you to have it.
Yep. May to October, even if you go in Italy, usually there's a few people that might make it all year round, but when it gets a little colder, nobody wants to buy that.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of your seasonal products. What are other seasonal products that you have? Like I know now you have the granita because it's warmer, but I know around Christmas time you have the traditional panettone, correct?
Yes. So L'Arte della Pasticceria is generally a pastry shop inspired by seasonality. So like we work a lot with the season, like whatever, not only holidays, but whatever kind of season is going on. Like there's always new things that come up. They come and go, and then we keep them for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we change something. So there's always something new. Yeah, thank you for bringing it up. The panettone and the colomba. So panettone for Christmas and colomba for Easter. Those are two of the main seasonal products that I'm mostly proud of course.
And you should be because the panettone that I tried from you is probably the best I've ever had. It's amazing, and I know that you're very proud of. You should be proud of it, and also you use your lievito madre. Could you just explain what that is, lievito madre, mother yeast, and why is that so important to the production of your panettone?
Yeah, so lievito madre basically, for whoever didn't know, it's whatever they call sourdough here, but there's like many ways to work with sourdough, and every chef, every baker has their own way. I was given my sourdough from a chef who, you know, was given to another chef too. So it's sourdough. It's always like that. The lievito madre. So my sourdough is now my lievito madre is 25 years old.
Wow,
Yeah, I brought it with me with Sicily.
wow. So you brought it over as sourdough from Sicily.
When I came over the first time, I was snagging the luggage, and it came over with me.
Oh wow. Oh, you snuck it over.
Yep,
Uh,
absolutely. Well, it's not illegal, but
No, 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 I know. It's okay. It's no problem because now you continue with it. Wow, so you said it's 25 years old?
yeah, and it's like a baby. I call it a baby, and my bakers make fun of me because I call it a baby, but it is a baby. Like you need to feed the yeast like every week. Sometimes like during Christmas time. So for example, when we start the production of panettone, we start usually at the end of November or beginning of December. I start feeding the yeast in September every single day. Feeding the yeast means like refreshing it. You mix it with more flour. Of course, the flour they use for that comes from Italy as well. Um, my yeast likes Italian flour. He's an Italian guy, so
He's Italian. Good, good. He's not Italian sounding.
yeah, and you need to. It's so interesting. The his word. I mean, it will take us an hour just to talk about that. But you're supposed to feed him always with the same flour, and there's a specific way to feed it, and you have to keep it a certain temperature, a certain pH, acidity. There's like so many things, but again, it's amazing because
It's
we
a
don't use.
science.
Yes, it is a science. It's all natural. We don't use any other kind of yeast for the production of the specific product. And it's amazing. Like you have this little. If you see it one day, I hope I can show you. It's like you have this little bowl of yeast, and you let it proof for a while, and then that little bowl of yeast will raise up like 45, 50 panettone
Wow.
3 days, because that's how long it takes to make a panettone. It takes about 3 days.
Wow. Wow.
But it's amazing. It's
That
just like
that is
unbelievable.
amazing. That is amazing. I mean, it's living, like you said. You still have to feed it and to keep it healthy, quote unquote, and keep feeding it the same flour, like you said. So do they typically say like the older the lievito madre is, the better typically? Like
Yeah,
I know people are very protective of it, and they should. A lot of them, it's passed down from generation to generation at times.
yeah, it is correct. The libido madre gets better. It's like wine. It gets better as it gets older.
Okay.
Of course, the age doesn't matter if you don't take care of it the right way. So if it's 50 years old, but like you haven't taken good care of it, like you haven't refreshed it the right way, it's not the same. So like to make a good lievito madre, you can just start it today. Oh, I make sourdough, and tomorrow it's ready to use. That's not how it works.
And I think that's what I'm hearing is that this sets you apart from other pastry chefs, is the not only of course the knowledge, but also the passion that is becomes tangible with your products. Like you could feel in your DNA that you're very passionate about this, about what you
Yeah,
do, and that's why you do such a good job, and that's why other people recognize that as well. In fact, you were just recognized. You just earned an award, if I'm not mistaken, from Eccellenze Italiane, correct?
correct. Yep.
Now, could you explain what that award is? I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
So,
you.
what is that award specifically?
Well, this just happened, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. They just reached out to me and they told us that based on reviews, and they'd be looking at our website, and some other guests have recommended us to be promoted as Eccellenze Italiane for the state of New Jersey. Like we're the basically they. It's a trademark. It's a company. Of course, they work a lot all over the world, and they pick only one specific place for each state all over the world to be, the representative of the Italian excellence. So when you have the logo outside of your shop, people should know that that place is a real authentic Italian place.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And there is actually the logo in your shop, or do you have it? Where do you have it? Like on the door, the window, or when they
Well,
walk in?
I have a tag. They give me a tag to display inside, but I still have to hook up the logo outside. It's been a little crazy, but yeah, we will have the logo outside.
Okay, hook it up as soon as possible, because I think that's amazing. People see that, and then when they come in, you can even start to educate them about that as well. I mean, that is a logo certifying your authenticity. I mean, you had that before, but this is just an added value, I would say.
It
That's amazing.
helps, of course. It helps if it's an organization. It's not just me telling people this is a real deal.
Right.
It's just an institute in Italy that's telling my customers now. It's like reinforcing whatever I've been telling them for 8 years.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome. Congratulations again to that. And now, what advice would you give to aspiring pastry chefs who are just starting their journey into this world of pastries?
Well, um, that is a tough question as well. The first, there's, I would say, two main things. The first thing is study. Like, study doesn't mean just study in school. Like, study in school if you can, of course. If you have the chance to attend a culinary institute, that would be great. Be focused on the ingredients. The importance of the ingredients in this field is unbelievable. You need to actually know what the ingredients in your hand are to be able to work with it. So study as much as you can, learn from others, be patient as much as you can. When you're young, you don't understand this. Like I did not understand that very well when I was a kid. But the more people you work with, the more you know, the more you can get their knowledge. So work with and for as many people as you can, because they're just gonna make your experience uh, better. That's all.
Understood. So the more studying, working with people, creating relationships with people, and learning from them, which will help to form you as a future pastry chef.
Yes, and the last thing, but no least, of course, it's have passion about this job because it's a very very tough job. Sometimes it happens not every day, but like every once in a while, I'm like, who brought me here? Like, why am I doing this? It's tough to say, but like it happens. Because it's hard, especially if you own the business.
Right.
Work your work day it's never over. You work your 10, 12 hours at the bakery and then you go home and you keep working and your brain is always connected to work. But this, keep in mind everybody, this is something that you can do only when you have passion about it. If you really believe in what you're doing, then at the end of the day it won't really matter that much. You will have your down days where you go home and you're questioning what you're doing. But at the end of the day it's still gonna be worth doing it.
Exactly. Because if you're passionate about something, that means you have fun doing it. So therefore, it's not just a normal 9 to 5 job. I mean, this is your life. This is what you like doing. And
I sometimes people have asked me like, oh, but I would love my kid to do this, or like, it's not something that you can just put somebody into. You can tell somebody, okay, now you're gonna do this. No, it's not. If you're passionate about it, like if you're really passionate about the food industry, then it's something that you can definitely do. If you're just looking for a job, but you think everybody makes a lot of money in this industry, uh, even though it is not even that much that true, because it's a tough industry. But if that's what you're thinking, that just to make money, it's not a job that you can do. It's like being a doctor, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, of course, but I don't think that's a job that you can do just to make money.
Absolutely. And that's like with any artisan, any job out there, basically. I think that would apply to you. I mean, you do it because you feel passionate for it, not just because you were told to do it. I want to be respectful of your time. I want to ask you one last question. It may be a difficult one, if that's okay. But it's kind of a two-part question. So, what is your favorite pastry to make, and what is your favorite pastry to eat?
Hmm. That's a really tough one. To make it might sound a little, you know, it's difficult, but the panettone is definitely one of the dessert that it just amazed me. It's every time when it comes the time to start making it, I start shaking because December it's a really tough season for us. There's a lot of work to do, and every time it's time to make it, I'm really excited about it. But it's also I know it's a lot of work. But that product is something that it's just I can't even explain it. Yeah, that's definitely the thing that I enjoy the most making. And also because that's as of today, because I do a lot of different things, but that's the only dessert I would say that I do the whole thing completely by myself. I haven't involved any of my bakers yet in the production of that.
Wow. Okay.
That's I gelato, pastries, cakes. I have a lot of people. There are a lot of great bakers, great people, and they help me a lot with everything. But panettone, it's nowadays the only thing that I'm still managing all by myself.
Still by yourself. So, how many do you make a year?
I mean, not as many as I used to make in Italy. In Italy, we're talking about almost 1,000, 2,000 per year.
Okay.
Yeah, now here we do like about 200 to 300 per season. We started with 20 or 30, and now every year it's getting more and more. Last year I think we made a little over 300. Just the big one. I don't consider the small one. The small ones would they go out the shelf like I don't know hundreds and hundreds, five, 600s. The big one, I'm just talking about the big panettone. It's probably about three or a little over 300.
Right, right. Wow, that's a lot. What about your favorite pastry to eat?
And that's gonna sound stupid, but I will say definitely cannoli are still my favorite thing.
Hey, you're Sicilian. Okay.
A good ricotta cannolo, it's something. I tell people my mother didn't feed me with milk when I was a kid. They feed me with cannoli.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Listen,
It's
Andrea, this was a great conversation. I'm glad we had this talk. Again, I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm going to let you go. But real quick, how could people reach you? How could they contact you? I know you have your shop, but what is your contact information?
well, the main content info is the website. If you just go to our website, www.l'arte, Lar as a robot, T as in Tom, biz, biz. Uh, all the info on whatever we do at the bakery are on the website. All the contact informations, you can just send us an email if you have any questions. And on the website, there's all the social media platforms. I mean, honestly, I'm not really big on social media, so I'm, I'm not really that good at it. But like the things that whatever it is, the links for the social media are all on the website. That's definitely something that I don't handle by myself because I'd rather focus on making pastries and let everybody do something else to deal with it.
You do what you were born to do, and me, on the other hand, I'll link everything in the notes of this show. I'll put everything there, your email and the social media. I'm sorry, the website and the social media channels as well, and even the email. Also, I'll put everything there so people can contact you. Andrea, thank you very much for this conversation. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to your guests, and I hope everybody had a nice experience listening to this.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Robert. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me on this journey through the stories of authentic Italian cuisine. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more insights and interviews. Also, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions on our social media channels at Stop Italian Sounding or on our website, stopitasounding.com. Grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.